and welcome to Bear Care Corner. My name is Andrea and I am here in our medical suite, our medical office, to give you some resident updates today. Let me know where you are tuning in from, and if you have any questions during the program, let me know in the comments, and if I catch them, I'm going to answer them here live. It is a super hot day today. It's going up to about 32 degrees Celsius by 3 p.m. So it's not even the hottest point yet. We've been running around filling bogs, taking care of the residents, doing some health checks. It is going down a little bit on, I think, Thursday and Friday, which will be a special treat because anybody in the comments experiencing the heat, I've seen people as far as England, New York. I think we've all been experiencing a very hot summer. So keeping the residents safe is our number one priority. I'm going to give you a few updates here about some of the residents. Hi, Gail from Long Island, New York. Jerry Lee from Maine. Mary sending love and sparkle. Hi, Helen from Montreal. Let me know what the weather is like where you are. We have all the fans running. We have everything going to keep the residents cool. I'm just going to be going through our AM med box to give you some resident updates. This is our med box. Each resident who is on medications has their medication in this box, all labeled, all in little separate baggies, so that way we stay very organized. So I'm going to go through a few things, explain what they are. Let me know if you have any questions, and we're just going to spend a little time here together before I go back out in the heat and fill some more bogs, make sure everybody has clean water. The volunteer crew this morning was doing the cow barns, making sure they're nice and tidy. The cows are spending a lot more time in their barns because they're trying to get out of the sun. So one thing that we want to be doing is creating some kind of space that the cows have shade, either bringing their fencing into a shaded area or something like that. So hi, Mary. Hi, Cheryl from Detroit. Hot in Montreal. Yes, I think we're all experiencing the same thing together. Hi, Andrea from Toronto. So first up, we have Escalade's little med baggie. We prep these every day so they're ready to go for the next shift. So he's been on, what is it called? Previcox for his mobility for a few years now. His farrier noted that sometimes when he's doing a hoof trim, I think it's one of his back legs is a bit more, or maybe it's both back legs, was a bit more sensitive. So he said that might help him. That's helped a lot. But more recently, in the last few weeks, he's had this crack in his hoof that's kind of split open. The farrier said he's never seen anything like that. The vet's seen it. The farrier even showed his farrier friends, and we're all kind of hands on deck to get Escalade sorted out. So two things that we've added are a stronger pain med to replace the Previcox. He's on Butte right now, as well as Stalrest. So him and BJ are in the barn, which they're very happy about. They have fans on them. They're staying cool. They're closer to us. I think they're really appreciating it this week, especially. And with all that, with the stronger pain med and with the Stalrest, Escalade is doing much, much, much better. So we're going to decrease the pain medication a little bit and see where he's at, and then potentially get him back out on pasture maybe next week. We don't want to do too many things all at once to see how he does out there. If he's sore again on pasture, we know that's too much mileage for him, and then we'll bring him back to the barn. So that's his healing update. It's going to take probably another 3 to 4 months for that crack to fully grow out. The whole hoof takes about a year. So where it's split is about the 9-month mark of growing. So yes, Helen, Escalade is doing much better. Thank you for thinking of him, and thank you for all your questions in the comments. Does misting help keep the animals cool? It really depends. It depends on the weather. So misting creates evaporative cooling. So thinking of yourself if you're wet, or you're just coming out of the pool, or if you're sweaty, what cools you off is the evaporative cooling effect. When that moisture that's on you, whether it's sweat or water or whatever you ran through the sprinkler, once that's evaporating, that's what keeps you cool. If we're in a heat dome, or if we have a lot of humidity, that doesn't really work. So it really depends. It works for some residents in terms of will they use it. Like the pigs definitely would. The pigs don't sweat as much as we do, so they really benefit from sprinklers or misters or bogs. Some of the other residents, like if we wanted to do that for the cows, I don't know if they would use it, but it would benefit them up to a certain point, up to a certain temperature, and up to a certain humidex of how humid it is. So relieved to hear Escalade is doing better. Absolutely. We are so happy. Hi, Daniel from Kingston. Thank you for tuning in. Let me know if you have any questions during the program. I'm going to answer them here. Just going over a few resident updates as we go through our med box, and just here to chat with you for a little while until I have to go back out. Jeannie's on the list for health checks for a hoof trim. We just did Obama's hoof trim before we came in here. One item we keep in our med box is slippery elm. This is a gastroprotectant. So if a goat or sheep specifically is on a long-term NSAID, so that would be like an Advil or Tylenol for humans. We don't give that to the animals. We give them something called meloxicam typically as a pain relief. If they're on long-term, that can cause sometimes GI upset or GI issues. This helps alleviate that or prevent it altogether. So it kind of coats the stomach. That they get that half an hour before their NSAID, so that really helps them. Glucosamine, we go through a bottle of this, probably one bottle every day and a half to 2 days max. There are a lot of pigs on additional glucosamine. That would be off the top of my head. Jolene, Fiona, Sammy, everybody in April's group, which would be April, Brindle, Mercy, Hercules, I think even Tammy. The pigs get glucosamine supplement added to their meals, but the certain pigs who have specific arthritic conditions are on extra, and this is like the extra strength stuff. This is on our wish list, so if you see it here, it's been donated, so thank you so much. Same with the slippery elm, this has been donated from our wish list on Amazon. Thank you. Hi, Marilyn. Hi, Sylvia from Montreal. Hopefully you're staying cool. It is quite sweaty hot here today. It's another hot one, but we are getting relief in a few days. Diablo. He gets his meloxicam daily for arthritis. He's been on that since March 2023. He's an older man. He also has something called CAE, which is a arthritic disease that goats can get, and it also causes wasting in some instances, so it can make them have a hard time keeping weight on. So he has that, plus he's been very sick this last week. If you saw Barnside Chat, I think we chatted about him there. It's something that's going through his herd. His herd consists of Diablo himself, George, and Angelo. George was sick about 2 weeks ago just for a few days, and then it seemed like Angelo caught it, and now it seems like Diablo's caught it. We're not sure what it is. We're doing all kinds of medications, and we've been consulting with our vet every few days to make sure. It's involved a fever, which is pretty weird for this time of year. GI upset, diarrhea, like not great stuff. We're working on keeping him hydrated, keeping him comfortable. He's had 2 doses of injectable antibiotics, and with Angelo, that's what really brought him back to his normal. So fingers crossed, all of his electrolytes and all of his medications and everything are going to be working on him. But yeah, he's been feeling pretty off the last few days. So that's one of his many medications. He's on quite a few things. He's also on kaopectate, which humans can also get. So if you have an upset stomach or you have diarrhea, you go to the pharmacy. That's one thing that you'll see on the shelves. Some animals can get the same things we get, and that's one of them. There are some more meloxicam baggies, and these are residents who are on meloxicam every day for usually arthritis. It's usually arthritis pain they're getting that on. Sometimes it's for an acute issue, like Oksana has a wound on her leg that we know is going to be sore, but for a short period. So she's on it just long enough that she's getting pain relief for the sore, for the cut on her leg. The cut on her leg is actually healing really well. So this meloxicam, these baggies are for April's herd, Mercy, Hercules, Brindle, April. We pull those up in a syringe, and those are an oral medication, and that's something that we would make a little peanut butter wrap with, sprinkle in the meloxicam and all their other meds, and then they eat that every morning. Diablo again, gabapentin, that's stacked on with his meloxicam for pain meds for arthritis. There's Oksana's kit. So like I had mentioned, she has that cut on her leg. So she's on antibiotics for that. Prophylactically, it didn't start infected, but wounds like that, especially in the summer, especially when there's flies and they're out in mud, and it's hard for us to keep up on the cleaning because we can clean it as much as we want, but she'll still go in the bog or she'll still be exposed to flies and different things. That was started right away, which was a great decision by the team because that means that her wound is not infected. It's healing super, super well. She comes into not the full pig chute, but there's an area right before the pigs go into the chute, and she gets some snacks, and we clean her wound, and she is so good for it, and she's so patient, and she actually heard me coming this morning, and she thought it was her turn to go get her wound cleaned, but it wasn't quite. She got really excited, so she's really used to the process now. So that's her meloxicam and antibiotics for pain relief and making sure she doesn't get an infection in that leg, but she's healing up really, really well. Okay, next one, I have a special package. This is for Richard's flock. So the birds out in Dolly's house actually have something called ILT, infectious laryngotracheitis. It's a herpes type of virus where they can get flare-ups that cause respiratory distress. We've managed it really well, and that includes also regular vaccines for that group that help suppress their flare-ups because it is a herpes virus. In that group, there's a few individuals on pain meds. So I have Richard on meloxicam for his arthritis. He is 10 years old, so he's experiencing a little bit of arthritis. Dorothy is an elderly bird, elderly chicken. We're guessing she's around 12 years old. She's also on meloxicam for arthritis. That was confirmed with x-rays. So she's having, you can kind of tell in chicken feet don't have a lot going on in them. There's not a lot of fat. There's not a lot of things covering. So if there's a joint that is kind of flared up that we're suspecting arthritis, it can be pretty easy to see. So we saw that on her health check, and we did x-rays on site to confirm that she has arthritis. So she's on pain meds to make sure she's not experiencing any pain with that. And Ginger, she's on terbutaline. She has partially collapsed syrinx, which was confirmed with a CT scan. She was having raspy breathing, coughing, different things like that. That was not related to her ILT, and imaging showed that she has a partially collapsed syrinx. In chickens, that's kind of like their vocal cords, and the best thing to help manage that is medication. So she does really well in this medication. She actually kind of looks forward to getting it. It's kind of tasty, like they compound it with a special flavor. She gets that twice a day. So that's their special package for that group. We keep them kind of double baggied because we don't want any cross-contamination with the other flocks. Could it be something in their food? Is that related to the illness that George, Diablo, and Angelo are experiencing? That's something we thought of, but they're not getting anything different than everyone else is getting. The other goat and sheep flock that lives on the other side of the barn eats the same grass, not on the same pasture. They eat the same hay. They get the same supplemental feeding, which is a mix of hay cubes, beet pulp, sometimes grain for some of them, depending on their needs. So I don't think, we're really trying to rule everything out, and I don't think, because they're all eating the same thing, I just don't think it's food related. It could be viral, like since it seems like they're passing it to each other. It seemed like one after the other, so really weird. We'll keep you posted, but it seems like Diablo's headed in the same trajectory as Angelo. He's on his second dose of antibiotics today, and that should mean that he's not going back into a fever and that he's continuing to heal. There are some goat and sheep pain meds, meloxicam. So I think pretty much everything I've talked about so far is meloxicam. There are some goats and sheep on meloxicam, pretty much all for arthritis again. So we do have an aging population, and they're needing a lot of support as they age to stay as comfortable as possible. Obama, who just turned 15 last month, he's on meloxicam for his arthritis. Jeannie as well, Catherine, Gilbert. We just added Catherine. She's had some crepitus in her joints for a long time. It's kind of creaking in her joints. She's not showing anything specific, but at that age, with the crepitus, she's only 6 months younger than Obama, so she's like 14 and a half years old. She's not showing any major signs, but we're kind of assuming at that age, with the crepitus and everything else going on, that she's probably having some kind of arthritis, and it wouldn't hurt to give her some pain meds. So she gets that in the syringe, direct syringe into the mouth with the Fig Newton after. Some of them like the flavor. Gilbert's on meloxicam. He really likes it. He drinks it right out of the syringe, and some of them don't like it as much, so they get a Fig Newton after. Some of the goats and sheep that have a bit more advanced arthritis also get gabapentin on top of the meloxicam, so that includes Diablo, who I already talked about, Jeannie, and Obama. So they have their little pills. Their pills go into a Fig Newton, and they don't even taste them, which is very helpful. Hercules, like I mentioned, they're herd. Hercules, Mercy, April, they're experiencing quite a bit of arthritis and different age-related things. We're trying to keep them as comfortable as possible. So they're all on a variety of pain medications, including as well gabapentin. So that's their little package. We're going to be filling these baggies pretty much right after this. Then we have Mercy. I think this is April's group. Mercy, Hercules, Brindle, April, Oksana as well. So any pigs that are on long-term NSAIDs or even short-term in terms of Oksana. Oh, this is omeprazole, and this helps with their stomach acids. It helps reduce the risk of GI ulcers and upset when they're on NSAIDs. So if they're on meloxicam, they get omeprazole half an hour. It's kind of like how we use the Cipram for the goats and sheep. They get omeprazole half an hour before their pain meds to help with their stomach acids and help make sure they're not getting any GI issues with long-term pain medication use, because that can happen in humans as well. It could be kidney issues, it could be GI, and we want to prevent that as much as possible, because if they do start this regimen of pain meds, they could be on it for years. It's just hard to tell. And then there's a few pigs who are on pain management, meloxicam, for arthritis, but their arthritis isn't as bad as they need pain meds every day. Sometimes you can do pain meds every 3 days. We're recently thinking of increasing Sammy's because he's becoming a bit more sore. He is on every 3 days right now with his meloxicam. So he wasn't due today. He's due on he's due tomorrow. July. I can't believe it's July 15th. It's halfway through the month. Feels like August. It's so hot. Sammy, Jolene, Fiona, they're all on pain meds. So I feel like most of the baggies I took out were pain meds related to arthritis and age-related things. It's usually arthritis, and we're trying to keep them as comfortable as possible. And then if that alone is not enough, we often add in like a gabapentin, or there are some other options with that as well. So that's all of our AM kits. All together, I'm going to fill that right after I'm done filming here, because that's a whole chore to fill that as well. So that's our AM kit. The PM kit is a little bit less. We do the majority of medications in the morning, but sometimes residents, depending on the medication and the species, sometimes they need medications twice a day, or sometimes even 3 times a day, depending on what it is. How is Winnie doing? She's doing great. I just checked on her when I went by. She's staying pretty cool. Her stall has a little fan and has a window, and her recheck x-rays are, I think, next week. I'm pretty sure they're on the 23rd, so really soon. We're going to have somebody out to do x-rays on her foot. She had broken her toe. We're going to check where that healing process is at, because they were thinking it could be up to 3 months or longer on stall rest. She's been on stall rest since the beginning of May. So this is about, it was mid-May. So this would be the 2-month recheck mark, because with pigs you can't really say, hey, rest in bed as much as possible. Like they're very social. They want to know what's going on. So she's been really good at resting, but she has been up on her feet, but in a really small stall. So she's not been out running. She's not had any tripping hazards. So hopefully on her recheck rads, we'll keep you posted with how that goes. That foot is going to be looking better, and she can rejoin her herd, but she's doing really well. We're actually really surprised, and we're really proud of her, because pigs are so social. It was a concern when we first put her on stall rest that she wouldn't do well. She would be pacing a lot or missing her family. She's definitely missing her family, but she's also getting a lot of belly rubs from volunteers. So she's very lucky, and we'll keep you posted with her progress. It's been quite a long journey. We've never had a pig with a broken toe before, so we're just keeping her as calm as possible, but we're also giving her all the kinds of enrichments. Andrea's asking, I know the answer, I think. How do you take temperatures on these babies? Bum bum. Correct. Usually rectal temperatures are the most accurate for all residents. So we have been taking Diablo's temperature. We started off with, I think it was 3 times a day, because he had a fever. We wanted to make sure that we knew exactly if he was getting any worse. Yesterday we took his temperature once, and he was still below a fever temperature, so he's doing really well. But it's usually a rectal temperature, which most residents don't love, but they do tolerate, luckily. Can't wait to see the new residents. Little spoiler alert, if you were here on Barnside Chat yesterday, you would know that there's going to be an announcement very soon, and the people who will get the very first announcement are monthly donors. So if you're not a monthly donor, it's a great way to get involved, to help out the sanctuary, and also get these updates before everyone else. So keep checking your inboxes. Those are going to be coming out very soon. Monthly donors will know first, and then we will be announcing elsewhere. But there are new residents. Thanks, Sylvia. Thank you so much for tuning in. I got to run, go do Jeannie's health check. I got to do the med box. Got to help Bailey out with some care things, and just do all of the things that need to happen to keep the residents safe and comfortable on this super hot day. Hope everybody's staying cool where you are. Look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye.